Hi friends, welcome to Code Practicing. In this video, we will practice how to connect AWS RDS from our local machine. We will learn to create an environment to run our MySQL database, connect to the database and delete the RDS DB instance after we are done. Okay, we will follow step-by-step process to do these things. The first step is to log into our AWS console. Second, we will create a database in RDS. Third, we'll connect our newly created RDS from our local machine, that is from Workbench. And fourth, we will delete our database from RDS. Okay, so first we'll log into our AWS console. For that, we will go to yes, and after login, you will see this window. You can find the RDS by typing RDS in search bar and clicking RDS. You'll go to RDS console, or you can find RDS under all services. All services under database. You will get RDS from your services, database, and RDS. So click on RDS. This will open the RDS console. This is an RDS console. Click on DB instance. See, currently we don't have any database active. We have not created any of the database till now. So we will first create our database. The second step is to create our database. So click on create database. Okay. Select the region in which we want to create our database. You will get this in the top right corner. Yes, you can select the region in where you want to create your database. Okay, so after for this tutorial we'll use US East and Virginia. Okay, so to create database, begin from this. Choose a database creation method. We'll select a standard create. Okay, engine option. Thereafter engine option, we have an option to select our engine type based on our requirement. That engine type is provided by AWS, Amazon Aurora, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server. For this tutorial, we'll select MySQL. Okay, and addition, this MySQL Community Edition. Version, we will select latest version of 5.7. Okay, and thereafter templates, choose a sample templates to meet your use cases. Amazon provide production, dev, and free tier templates. The below settings, all the settings is based on this selection. Okay, for this tutorial, we select a free tier. Okay, now we have the settings. Now we will configure our DB instance. Okay, so first is DB instance identifier. Type a name for a DB instance that is unique for your account in the region that you selected. Okay, for this tutorial, we will name it as RDS MySQL DB. Okay, this is the credential setting, the master username and the master password. Master username, type a username that we will use to log in into the DB instance. We will use admin in this example. Master password, will type code 234 code 1 2 3 4. Okay, and we have confirm type. Okay, this is the login credential to your database instance, and we will use this username and password to connect to our RDSDB instance. Okay, next is DB instance class. Choose a DB instance class that meets your processing power and memory requirement. Here we have an option of a burstable class that includes include T classes. Look, all other classes are disabled. We has by default this class is enabled on your selection of template. We have selected free tier. That's why T classes DB instance are enabled for our selection. Okay. If we choose a production or dev test, then all DB instances will be available for us. Okay, look at that. Yes, the production or DB test. Then all the classes, DB classes are available for us. Okay. So for this tutorial, we'll select free tier. So we have an option of only T2 micro. Okay. So after selecting DB instance class, next is a storage type. Amazon provide 3 type of storage: general purpose, provisional apps SSD, and magnetic. General purpose purpose SSD are suitable for broad range of use cases, including small to medium sized database development and test environment. The next, provisional app storage is designed to meet the needs of I/O intensive workloads that require low IOs latency and consistent IO throughput. And the last one is magnetic storage type. Amazon RDS also support magnetic storage for backward compatibility. It is recommended by AWS to use general purpose SSD or provisional apps for storage needs. The maximum amount of storage allowed for DB instance on magnetic storage is less than that of the other storage types. Okay. For this tutorial, we will select general purpose SSD. The next is auto scaling. Okay. Enable storage auto scaling. If our workload is unpredictable and we want RDS to auto scale our storage when needed, then we will select enable storage auto scaling. For this tutorial, we don't need this, so uncheck enable storage auto scaling. Availability and durability. This option is are not available for free tier. Multi-agent deployment are available for production and dev test. If you are creating for production or development, on selecting this will create a standby DB instance in different availability zone to provide data redundancy and minimize latency spike during system backups. Note that you will have to pay for multi-agent deployment. Okay. So next is our connectivity part. Now we are in the connectivity section where you can provide information that RDS need to launch your DB instance. Okay, in that we have a first private virtual private cloud. We'll select the default. After note that after a database is created, you can't change the VPC section. Okay. Subnet group, we'll leave it with the default VPC. Next is public access. This part is important. It gives the option of yes and no public access. Yes, if you want to access your database from our local computer, you have to choose yes public access. This will allocate an IP address to our database instance so that we can directly connect to our database from our local computer. Do remember, if you enable this public access, this will visible to public, but it is not like that anybody can access. Whoever want to access the database from the public, they should have login credential and endpoint, then only they can access. For this tutorial, we will select yes, otherwise we won't able to access it from a local computer. If we select no, we will be able to access this database within the EC2 instance only. Those EC2 instance which are coming in the same VPC. If you select no, it means if you select no, it means it is more secure. Okay, but for this tutorial we will select yes. Next part is VPC security group. It says from where you can access this database instance. So for that we will create new VPC security group. This will create a security group that will allow connection from the IP address of the device that you are currently using to the database creation. Okay, means it means it will create endpoint rule of my IP address. Okay, so to create a new VPC security group, provide a name for it, my RDS SG. Okay, after providing the name for a security group, next is availability zone. Select no preference, additional configuration. The port is 3306, leave as it is. Now next is the database authentication part. We have password authentication, password and IAM database authentication, password and phrase authentication. Okay, for this tutorial we will go with the password authentication, and the password and IAM database authentication will cover in our upcoming videos. Okay, so what is the next part? Now we have additional configuration. Here is the database option, initial database name, DB parameter group, option groups, backup. Okay, so initial database name, give a database name. If you do not provide a name, Amazon RDS will not automatically create a database on the new DB instance. So by default, we will have one database if we provide the name here. Okay, so we'll give a name to our database. First database like my first test DB. Okay, this database will be created after creation of our instance. Okay, backup, uncheck this option as we don't want to backup our RDS database instance, as we will delete this instance after this tutorial, so we don't need to enable our automated backup. Now is the monitoring part. Enhanced monitoring, it is disable. Select disable and enhanced monitoring to stay within the free tier. Enabling enhanced monitoring will give us metrics in the real time for the operating system that your DB instance is running on. So we'll get a real-time matrix of our DB. Okay, so monitoring log export, leave this as it is. Maintenance, enable auto minor version upgrade. Select enable auto minor upgrade to receive automatic updates when they become available. Okay, maintenance window, don't no preference. Next is our delete protection. Disable delete protection for this tutorial. When this is enabled and this is enabled, it will prevent you from accidentally deleting the database. So for this tutorial, we don't want to enable this delete protection. Okay, all settings are done. Let's check once again what are the changes we had made. What are the selection? Standard create MySQL, addition MySQL community, version 5.7, latest version, template, free tier, settings, DB instead identifier, we have provided the name, credential settings, admin have provided the password, DB instance class, burstable class T2 micro, storage type general purpose storage, allocated storage 20, auto scaling we have disabled, auto scaling, multi-user deployment is disabled for free tier, connectivity default VPC, subnet VPC default, public access is yes, we want to connect publicly available this or RDS. VPC security group, we are creating new VPC security group. Okay. Additional configuration, no change. Password authentication, additional configuration, we are creating initial database, the first database in our RDSDB instance after creation, disabled and automated backup, monitoring is disabled. Okay, enabled minor version upgrade, deletion protection disabled. Okay, all seems good. So click now, click on create database. Okay. Okay, the creating a database RDS MySQL DB is the status is creating. Once the database is created, you will get your database endpoint. So we will get our database endpoint under connectivity and security endpoint and port. We'll get this. Currently, we don't have anything here as we are creating database. This is a VPC security group. This is a newly created security group for our RDS instance. Okay, is publicly accessibility, yes. From here we can get our credentials for login from Workbench. We will use master username, password, and here we will get the endpoint after successfully creation of a database. Okay, so it will take some time to create the database, so we'll wait for this. Yes, the database is created successfully and the status is updated to available. So now we will have our endpoint and port. Okay, we got our endpoint and port. So you will click on view connection detail. Here now we have master username, password, and endpoint. Using this credential, we will connect our newly created database from Workbench. Okay, so our third step is to connect to RDS MySQL database instance. Okay, in this step, we will connect to our newly created database using MySQL Workbench. Okay, for that we will go to MySQL Workbench, click on new connection, connection name, connection method, host name, username, password. Okay, so we'll give a name to our connection, RDS instance connection. Okay, this is the host name. Host name is our endpoint. And the host name paste in the endpoint and we'll paste in host name. Username, what is our username? Username is our admin. We paste password. What is the password? We have set code 1234. Paste. Okay. And now click on test connection. Let's check whether it's connected or not. Yes. Successfully made the MySQL connection. Congratulations. You are now connected to the database. Okay. We'll click on RDS instance connection. It's connecting. Yes. Now the MySQL workbench. You will see various schemas, object available in the database, InnoDB system, and my first test DB. You remember we have provided a name of my first database test DB. Means while creating a DB instance, we said RDS to create this database. Okay. Now you can create table, insert data, and run queries over here. Okay. So we had connected. We have created our database in RDS and connected our newly. We have connected newly created RDS from Workbench. Means 3 steps are done. Now last step is for step 4. Delete the RDS DB instance. Yes. Okay. So we will delete our this instance. We can easily delete the MySQL DB instance from the Amazon RDS console. It is best practice to delete instance that you are no longer using, so that you don't keep getting the charge for them. Okay, so we have click on this. This is a new instance you have created. Okay, action, click on delete. Okay, uncheck create final snapshot. Okay, acknowledge the delete. Okay, click on delete. Okay, this will delete the deleting process has started. Okay, so in this video we have practiced how to connect AWS RDS from our local machine. We learned to create an environment to run our MySQL database, connect to the database, and delete the RDS DB instance after we are done. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Hope it may help you. We'll see you in this. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.